Hello everyone, it's Hunter and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, it is so nice to meet you. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my WILLOW Go hands-free breast pump. That's fun. Some background, I exclusively pump for my 4-month-old baby. That just means that we feed her breast milk through a bottle that I have pumped rather than nursing. And I did not know that exclusive pumping was even an option until I started to pump for my baby and realized that it worked better for us in terms of feeding to exclusively pump rather than to nurse or use formula. So that's what we're doing. And I have been using this pump for about 4 months now, which is a little over 4 months, which is why I wanted to go ahead and do a review on it because I feel like my milk has regulated and things like that. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm talking about my breast pump and this is definitely not the kind of content that a lot of you signed up for. So I'm really sorry about that, but I have everything written down on my iPad. So let's just go ahead and get started. So first, let me give you some specs on this. This is the WILLOW Go and it is a hands-free pump. I'm gonna go ahead and put it together for you so I can show you how it works. So this is the motor portion of it and this is the part that's the most expensive. When you buy a pump, you are obviously buying the whole thing together as the whole like set so you can use it, but this is what makes it so expensive is the motor. They have this label right here that says L and then the other one has an R on it obviously, and we've got some dried milk on here, sorry. And then let me show you the buttons at the top. There is the power button and then a plus and minus and then the mode button. So mode changes from stimulation and expression, and then this just changes the level of suction that you have, and that's on both of them. So you can control each one individually, which I really like. So if you have one breast that's a little bit more sensitive than the other, then you can have that as an option, because I know with a lot of hospital grade ones, you cannot control them individually. So it's nice that you have that option. So let's go ahead and put one of these together so I can again show you how that works. I have all of my parts right here. So first thing that you have are these, I don't know what they're called, but it's this, and it goes onto this white part right here. And then you have, this is the container that holds the milk. So you just put it together like this. And then you take this thing. Again, I don't know what any of these parts are called. And you stick this like this. I'm saying this a lot. It has these little notches right here so that you can easily line them up. And then this, you see this little bit right here, it helps this to just snap on. And then we add a flange and there you have it, a single WILLOW Go pump. So that's one of them put together. And to take this part off, you literally just push these buttons on the side and it makes it so that you can pull this off and then you just pull everything apart. Opposite of how I just put it together. So super simple. I think the retail price of this is $329, which is really pricey. It comes with both of them. It comes with all of the parts plus 2 sets of phalanges. The phalanges are different sizes. There is a 24mm and a 21mm, and of course you can buy different kind of inserts and stuff to put inside of here if you need them smaller, and they also make some bigger ones. Correct flange sizes makes a huge difference in output and comfort, and just it makes the pumping experience a lot better when you have the correct flange size, which is something I only figured out on TikTok before I had my baby. So yeah, that is the whole setup. Like I said, it comes with 2 of them, and the motor is probably the most expensive part because you can buy extra of all of the parts. So if you like lose some, or of course you're supposed to replace parts as well as you go along because of diminished wear and things like that. So, and that's true for any breast pump. So now first I want to talk about the cons and then I will talk about the things that I find helpful, things that I love about it. So the number 1 con that I have is this is the part where you like pour milk out of to pour it into like a container or a bottle, and it is not leak proof because of this little part right here. So if you have it in your bra, because that's where this goes, is inside of your bra, if you like lean over and it's high up, like if you filled it up, then it's gonna fall out, it's gonna leak. And if you move around too much, then it's gonna move around and it's gonna come out the top. So it is not leak proof, so you can't really bend over. It's hard to do things like emptying the dishwasher, picking up your baby, honestly. It's not leak proof, which would be nice. However, that honestly is not like the biggest downfall for me. Some other things are that you cannot see the flanges when they're like on. So with other pumps I can like actually see if I'm lined up correctly in the flanges, and in this one you cannot see if you are lined up properly. So you kind of just have to like move it around around and go based on feel, which when you're first learning how to do it can be really difficult because you don't know what you're trying to feel for. So that was definitely really difficult for me. And honestly, sometimes I don't know if I'm lined up properly, and sometimes it feels like I'm lined up properly, but I'm not. And I look in the container and there's no milk in there, and that's the only reason why I know that it's not lined up properly. So that kind of sucks. Something else is that you cannot see inside of the containers while you're pumping. So especially if you're like in the middle of doing something and it's in your bra, you do have to, like, if you like have it inside your shirt, then you have to like lift up your shirt and peek inside your bra to see how much is there, which is not a discreet activity to do if you're in public, especially if you're like an oversupplier. It can be really not good because when you put it in your bra, if you fill up pretty quickly, then it can be like at the top and you don't even realize it's full until you start spilling all over the place, which has happened to me plenty of times. So I hate that that's a thing. Something else is that I have to pump for 25 minutes as opposed to 15 minutes to get a similar output as a hospital grade pump. Also, you have to transfer this milk into a different container, so you can't just like put a lid on this and put it somewhere else. So you either have to transfer it into a bottle, into a bag, into something in order to store the milk that you pump in here. So you can't just like pump directly into bags, and you can't pump directly into like a bottle that you're gonna feed your baby. You have to take this off and pour them. I mean, you have to like pour the milk into something else. You can't just like store it like this. I guess you could put the whole thing in the fridge and then transfer it to a bottle when you're ready to use it, but you can't just like use it as a bottle. So that is a negative for me. Next, I said that it was a bit of a learning curve. I definitely feel like it's just easier to figure out the other kinds because you can see better and all that kind of things, all of those types of things. Plus, when you're at the hospital, if you are trying to learn how to use it, a lot of times the nurses in the hospital, they don't recommend using wearables because you want to regulate your supply. And I have to agree, I think that like figuring out pumping in the first place and like getting your supply and everything, it's easier to figure it out with the other pump, and they are able to teach you better with that kind of pump, like with a wall pump. I'll also say that with this one, I really was like beginning to regret my purchase in the beginning just because it wasn't working. I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, I'm determined to make these work because I paid a lot of money for them. But if I wouldn't have paid a lot of money for it, then I probably would have given up on these. And I feel like sometimes people do end up giving up on them simply because it's a little bit more difficult to figure out than like a wall pump. Two more things on the con list is that it is pretty pricey. I actually did write it down. It's $349, although you can get it through your insurance for a cheaper price. However, it's not considered one of like the free pumps. I got mine through Aeroflow breast pumps, and I did get it for $200 instead of $349. I would not have paid $349 for it, but I did pay $200. And you'll see in this review that I'm actually really glad that I paid the $200 for it because I do actually really love it, which again, I'll get to the positives, but there's that. And also there is an app, which is why there is the left and right. So when you connect it to the app, you're supposed to be able to like see which one is which, if that makes sense. So that way you can like keep track of stuff, and it has like a timer, and you can control the input and output, not the output, you can control like these buttons with the app. However, I can't even get the app to work. I can't get it to connect to either one of them. And when I looked at the app's reviews, there were lots of other similar apps as well. I mean, reviews as well, saying that they couldn't get it to work. So in my opinion, I think the app is useless because I can't get it to work. So definitely that's a downside because I was actually really looking forward to using the app, but that's okay. I have made it work without it. So those are all the negatives. I definitely feel like most of these, actually the only thing that would like deter me from buying it based on my negative reviews is that it's pricey, but that's pretty much the only thing. They are not things that I would like consider not getting it for, because when I tell you my positives, you'll understand. So the first positive that I have, let's just go ahead and talk about the pros. So the first is that I get a similar, if not the same output as a hospital grade wall pump. So I have a Medela Pump and Style Advanced and a Medela Pump and Style, and I alternate with those whenever I am upstairs or if I have a little bit less time to do stuff. It really just depends on what's happening. So first thing in the morning, last thing at night, I typically use my wall pumps simply because I don't have to do them for as long and I can use bigger containers. But I do get a similar if not the same output. I have not noticed like a significant decrease. I know a lot of people talk about how it's not good to use a hands-free as your primary pump, but I haven't had any issues with, like, there have been, when I travel and stuff, I've only taken this one and it's been a lot easier to take this with me. And like I said, I get the same output. I log all of my output, so I can definitely say that I get the same. Next is the fact that it's hands-free and cord-free. I know there are some hands-free options where you can stick them in your bra and then like clip something to you, but I like that there are no cords. This is the whole thing. Like, this is it. There's nothing to attach to it that you need to work. So you literally just turn it on and stick it in your bra and you're good to go. So I really, really, really love that. So like I said earlier, where you can't like bend over, it doesn't stop me from doing stuff, if that makes sense. So like, I still empty the dishwasher. I still pick up my baby. I just have to be a little bit more careful with it because of the spilling nature of it. But honestly, it's just so much easier that you can just stick it in your bra. If I'm downstairs doing something, I can make dinner with it. I can go get the mail with it. So if I have, you know, a solid 15 minutes to sit upstairs with my wall pump, that's great. But sometimes I don't have that time. So I'm like having to make dinner or go do something. Fold laundry. I do have to sit upright, but folding laundry and that kind of thing, I can literally just stick it in my bra and do something else while I'm doing it. Because I also don't have like a regular pumping bra that you use for like a wall pump. So I literally have to sit there and hold the pumps the whole time. So I like have to use my hands. So that sucks. So it truly is hands-free, which I love. In fact, I recently went to San Diego for a wedding and I had a layover in Chicago, and they have tons of lactation pods in O'Hare, which is incredible. But I went into a pod. Once I landed, my layover wasn't really long at all. So I went into a pod, put them in. I walked through the airport, bought a book, bought some food with the pump in me, like in my bra, and I went about my business. I mean, I'm sure it looked really funny, but I was pumping while I was doing all of these things. And then once I got to near my gate, I just found another pod and took them out and did what I needed to with the milk, and that was it. I was able to go through the airport while I was pumping. It just made it so much easier. I also ended up doing that on the plane as well. I like hid in my sweatshirt and put them in and then just sat there while it was pumping, and then I went to the bathroom and took them out because I didn't want people to see me taking them out. But yeah, it was so easy and it made it so much easier because they were hands-free. Next is that it's just super easy to change the settings right here on top. Super easy to turn on, super easy to change the settings. I mean, it's just really simple and right there at the top because that's the direction that you're seeing it from. Next is that you have the freedom to move wherever you want to. Like I said, being truly hands-free, you can move wherever you want to. You don't have to be stuck to a wall. You can do it in the car and you don't have to worry about having a plug anywhere. Also easier to carry when traveling. I have a bag that I put them in, but I just think that this is a lot easier to carry when traveling because you're not worrying about cords. And yes, you do have to charge them, but you can like put those cords away and just pull out what you need instead of pulling out like the whole shebang. It's just a lot easier to carry because you can literally just stick this inside of a bag. So I find that super helpful. Next, I love that it turns off automatically after 25 minutes. It's supposed to anyway. For some reason, my right one turns off automatically after 25 minutes, but the left one does not. And I'm not really sure why, but I'm not mad about it because this one turns off automatically. So I just know that I need to go turn the other one off. And as nice as it would be to have the app to tell me how long I've been pumping for, I just started a timer somewhere else because otherwise I have no idea how long I've been going until it turns off. However, if I do forget to start a timer, I know when to stop because it turns off, which I think is really nice. Something else that's really nice about this one in particular is that when you buy a pump, it typically comes with flanges. My Modelo one came with 24 millimeter and 27 millimeter, both of them did. And the Willow comes with 24 and 21 millimeter. I personally need a 21 millimeter if you know anything about this. And I like that it came with a 21 millimeter instead of a 27 because I feel like most people need smaller flanges, but they don't typically know what kind they need. I don't know where it is. Also, the pump came with a flange sizer, so I didn't have to like buy one to figure out what size I needed. So that was also really, really helpful. And they, like I said, they do make extra parts that you can do, but I had to buy flanges to go with my Modelo ones, and I didn't have to with this one because it came with what I needed. If you can get the app to work, I feel like that's probably really great. Again, it comes with a timer. You can change modes. You can see the battery level, which I think is really nice. But something that's nice about this is that you can see how much battery you have left. So I just turned it on. I don't know if you can see the light, but it's green right now, which means that I have plus pump sessions available. When it's yellow or orange, it means that there is at least 2 pump sessions available. And when it's red, there is 1. So you kind of have an idea of how much battery you have based on the color of the light, which is nice. And something else about the, what's it called? About charging it in terms of like pump sessions, because you can see how many pump sessions you have based on the indicator light. It also is super, it like charges really quick, at least enough for for one session. So if you're like desperate for a pump and it's dead, you forgot to plug it up or whatever, you can plug it up for like 10 minutes and usually there's at least enough battery for you to get one session in so that you can plug it back up when you need to, which I find super helpful because there are plenty of times where I have only charged one and not the other because I have a charger downstairs, but I only plug one in at a time, which is dumb, I know, but yeah. It's nice that it shows you how much battery you have and that it charges pretty quickly. And the last thing that I love about this one is that you don't need a special bra to hold it in place. I personally prefer to use nursing bras just because they are a bit more stretchy and you can adjust them if necessary, because sports bras sometimes are a little bit too compressing, and regular bras, even if they're nursing bras, can be really, really compressing. But I like that you can like adjust because it does have to be kind of tight up against you, but also you don't want it to be so tight that you like can't get it in and out easily. So I like that you can use whatever bras you have and you don't have to spend a ton of money on expensive nursing or pumping bras, because I do not have a pumping bra for my other pumps and it can be really difficult when I don't have hands available to do anything, even if it's just hold my phone. So yeah, that's all I've got for today's video. I feel like hearing reviews from real people makes it a lot easier to decide on which kind to get. If you have the funds to buy one of these, I would highly recommend it. But also if you're considering it, I would also highly look into Aeroflow breast pumps to see if they will, like, you can get it at a discounted price, because that was a really nice thing for me. I would not, again, have paid retail for it, but it was nice to be able to get it for $200 instead of $349. I also know that they go on sale pretty regularly, so I would look into that as well. But if you're looking for a hands-free pump, highly recommend. I know a lot of people really love like Mom Cozy and other ones that you can get from Amazon, but I've just heard that the power is not as good. I've heard that these are the closest to hospital grade that you can get in a hands-free pump. So I, again, highly, highly, highly recommend these if you're able to get one. And if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments down below, or if you don't want to ask it publicly, then you can DM me on Instagram and I will try my best to get back to you. But that's all I have for today. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope this video was helpful in maybe helping you make your decision about whether you should buy this pump, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!